Hi, my name is Akshay, and this is. Today, we're going to be talking about structure. Structure is a huge part of what makes a good screenplay. It helps the viewer follow the story in a coherent way, it keeps the pace of the story intact, and it creates an emotional journey of highs and lows in your screenplay. Structure is made up of several story beats. Beats are points of action that dictate the direction of the story. The classic film structure is divided into 3 acts. To better understand story beats and structure, let's break down the superb structure of one of my favorite films, Chak de India. Let's begin with Act 1. Beat number 1. Opening image. The film starts with the opening image. This sets the tone of the film, and this is usually the first time we see our protagonist. It is the Hockey World Cup final, and Pakistan leads 1-0 against India. There's only 2 minutes left in the game. We meet our protagonist Kabir Khan, who is the captain of the Indian team. A foul by Pakistan leads to a penalty. Kabir Khan steps up and takes the penalty but misses. India lose the final, and media perception paints Kabir as a traitor. Social hostility forces Kabir and his mother to move out of the neighborhood they've lived in for years. This is our opening image. The opening image shows the central problem in the story. Kabir is alienated because he let his country down. Beat number 2. Introducing the world. The audience has to be familiar with the world of the story. They need to know the rules of the world, the mood of the world, and what is the current state of the world of the story. We jump 7 years ahead in time into the world of Indian hockey. We see the present condition of the world. Apathy for Indian sport, sexism towards sportswomen, a generally miserable state of affairs. Beat number 3. Inciting incident. Inciting incident is the moment where the protagonist is presented an opportunity to go on a journey. The protagonist usually refuses to go on the journey or goes ahead with it. In this case, the protagonist goes ahead with it, and it is the moment when Kabir Khan takes up the job of being coach of the Indian women's national team. A job with no takers. This moment is the start of change in the story. Kabir's appointment compels the association to prepare the women's team for training for the World Cup. Kabir's goal in the story is set. He wants to win the World Cup, this time as coach. Beat number 4. Characters introduced. We've already met our protagonist, and now it's time to meet the supporting characters. It is the day of player registration for the Indian national women's team. We are introduced to the team that we are going to follow in this journey. This is where we see the problems the supporting characters have to deal with. For example, Bindya Nayak, the senior most player, is very egotistic and lacks any respect for authority. For Balbir, it is her temper and aggression. For Komal Chautala, it is her patriarchal family. Vidya makes a comeback to hockey after getting married into a conservative family. We see women from all parts of India, thus making a very diverse team. Kabir Khan meets the players and makes it clear to them that they must play for the love of the country and their team first, before anything else. The theme of the film is stated. As the players move into their dormitory, the tensions between the players start to come up. The rivalry between Komal and Preeti is established. A lot of the women's team do not get along with each other because of their differences. And we're done with Act 1. Act 1 is mainly about setting up the entire story. We now know who is our protagonist, what is his goal, what is the world of the story, and who are our supporting characters. We are now set for Act 2. Beat number 5. Break into Act 2. Act 2 begins, and at this point the protagonist has set out on his journey and there's no going back. Kabir Khan and the women's team will now work on their goal of training for the World Cup. On the first day of training, Kabir Khan makes it very clear to the team about how he works. The players do not get along with each other, and Kabir aims to resolve this. Beat number 6. B story introduced. B story is basically a major subplot in the film that runs alongside the main plot. In this case, various subplots are revealed. For example, Bindya wants to obtain a certain power in the team, Preeti is engaged to a star cricketer who does not respect her sport, and Vidya's in-laws pressurize her to quit playing and become a homemaker instead. All these subplots tie into the main plot. All subplots deal with women who want to gain respect as hockey players. In the main story, all these women are aiming for the World Cup because winning that will bring them respect and glory. If your subplot has zero connection with the main plot, then it doesn't fit into the screenplay. In this film structure, the B story is Preeti's story because it features prominently throughout the film and has a very important character arc. Beat number 7. Fun and games. Fun and games shows the premise of the film fully at work. Being a sports film, this is where we see the players play the sport and undergo training under Kabir Khan's guidance. We see the fights between the players and Kabir strictly ensures everyone falls in line. The training intensifies as Kabir pushes them harder. Beat number 8. Act 2 Turning Point. At this point, the protagonist faces a major obstacle. The intense physical training reaches a breaking point and Bindya, the ultimate rebel of the group, rallies everyone to protest against Kabir's extreme method of coaching. All of the players refuse to go for practice and Kabir is forced to resign as coach. This is the first turning point in Act 2. Kabir takes the team to lunch on his last day as coach. An incident of harassment unites all the women together, making them realize that Kabir is the reason why they're very united and thus very strong as a team. They reconsider their views on him and Kabir gets back to coaching them. Beat number 9. Midpoint. During the midpoint, the protagonist faces either a major failure or major victory, which alters the course of the story. In this case, we see a victory as Kabir is able to finally coach the team without any issues, and the team get better and better with each day of training. The B story comes up again and Preeti discovers that her fiancé has finalized her wedding plans without even informing her. Those dates clash with the Women's World Cup. Her fiancé's lack of respect is reinforced and Preeti aims to win the World Cup so that she can prove to him that she is a bloody good sportswoman. Beat number 10. Rising action. At this point, more difficult obstacles arise for the protagonist and the stakes get higher. The Hockey Association decides not to let the women's team compete for the World Cup. Kabir Khan suggests a match between the women's team and the men's team. If the women win, they will be able to compete. If not, bye-bye World Cup. The women lose to the men's team despite putting up a pretty good fight. In an unexpected turn, the association is impressed with the women's team's performance, so they feel confident enough to send them to the World Cup. Beat number 11. Biggest setback. This is the biggest failure and the lowest emotional point for the protagonist in the entire story. In their first World Cup match, Balbir loses her temper and gets sent off. Bindya does not work well with her teammates. The two attacking forwards, Komal and Preeti, do not pass the ball to each other. All of these issues that were shown early in the film are now harming Team India's performance. India face a humiliating loss to Australia as the score reaches 7-0. One more loss and India's out of the World Cup. Beat number 12. Coping with the loss. During this point, the protagonist feels the weight of the huge failure he just faced. He re-evaluates the manner in which he has been navigating his journey. Kabir Khan and the players have their moment where they realize they may not win the World Cup. They all dust themselves up and get back on track. They train harder. Kabir and his team try to correct the mistakes that made them fail in the first place. Kabir advises Balbir to control her temper and he kicks Bindya out of future games because she is problematic for the team. And Act 2 finally ends. Act 2 is all about confrontation. The protagonist has to go through several obstacles and is tested constantly so that he is better prepared for the finale in the third and final act. Beat number 13. Break into Act 3. Act 3 begins when all the characters have learned from the obstacles and failures they faced. It is India's do-or-die match against England. In the final few minutes, Preeti leads with the ball close to the goal. She does not pass to Komal, who is in a scoring position. Preeti takes the shot herself and the risk pays off as she scores. India win the match 1-0 and from then on they keep winning more matches ahead. Though India is advancing well in the tournament, Kabir Khan is still concerned with the lack of teamwork between Komal and Preeti. Kabir gives Balbir and Bindya their chance to shine as their contribution helps India win the quarter-final and semi-final. India have finally reached the World Cup final. But the problems do not end. The night before the game, Kabir makes Komal and Preeti fully aware of their flawed playing style and demands that they correct it. Beat number 14. The finale. This is the final confrontation in the film. The protagonist is very close to achieving his goal and now has to face his biggest test in the climax of the journey. The World Cup final begins and India faces Australia. Towards the end of the match, Australia leads 2-1 and there's very little time left for India to equalize. India starts counter-attacking and Komal gets possession of the ball. As she moves closer towards the goal, she passes the ball to Preeti at the right moment, allowing Preeti the chance to score a goal. Kabir celebrates as the two main forwards have finally learned to work together. Extra time passes and none of the teams have scored. We now move to the penalty shootout, and this is where India ultimately wins the final. After all that blood, sweat and tears, India finally wins the World Cup. Kabir has achieved his goal in the story. Beat number 15, resolution. In the film, we do not see this chronologically before the final beat. It happens in the end credits of the film. The resolution is where we see the change in the world and the change in the protagonist and the supporting characters. The entire women's team returns to India and they're given a hero's welcome at the airport. The world of the story has changed because Indian women's hockey is now given national glory and respect. We see the B story conclude as Preeti rejects her fiance's proposal because she has enough self-worth to walk out of an unequal relationship. Balbir is much calmer as she can control her temper. Vidya has gained the pride and respect of her in-laws. Komal's father's skepticism about her choice to be a hockey player has finally gone, and Bindya has become a little more grounded as a person. Another moment that can be counted as a resolution is the moment when Kabir Khan finally feels redeemed when he realizes that India has won the World Cup. Beat number 16, closing image. The closing image sums up the transformation of the protagonist or the world of the story. It usually is in contrast to the opening image. Kabir returns with his mother to the neighborhood that they left 7 years ago. This time he is welcomed and celebrated by all the people in the neighborhood because of what he has done for India. As you can see, the closing image shows the change that has happened in the protagonist's world. Contrast this to the opening image where we saw him leave the neighborhood with his mother while everyone looks at them with shame and contempt. That is change. And like any other great story, Chak the India story is about change. So that's how the entire 3-act structure of Chak the India plays out. Most films follow the same beats and structure that was just discussed. There are examples of films that have their own structure and beat these rules. If you want to break the rules, it's better to first know the rules very well before doing it. But the 3-act structure is a great guideline anyway for writing a screenplay because it's worked countless times. Let me know what you think about this video in the comments below. Please like, share and subscribe. And I'll see you guys later.